fact that people just feel confident enough to really just stand up
and leave.
And I'm like,
and it's not like they're leaving to stand up, because one thing they're leaving to go to the job. Because people would at least form like they don't want to sit down anymore. They want to stand. They want to sit down somewhere else.
So I'm just like, these people feel like they're really comfortable doing that, and it's like, okay.
My name is Yewande, and I am the host of the Now That We're Here podcast. The Now That We're Here podcast aims to tell the stories of immigrants who have left their home countries and now call another country home. We want to hear about their good times, the bad times, and what's next while they're here. We want to share these stories with the hopes that the lessons and the experiences will help another immigrant feel less alone and feel more at home in their new country and in their new home. Listen on YouTube, on Spotify, and everywhere else you get podcasts. Subscribe. I hope you comment, share. I hope you enjoy it. And I hope the lessons really help to improve the quality of your life in your new home. Thank you.
So the title of the podcast is Now That We're Here.
That's a nice title.
Yeah. So like Now That We're
Let's
Here.
talk
What's
about
next?
it, yeah.
Why did you move to Germany? Right? Like things that happened. Why did you move? Why did you jump back from Nigeria? How Hamburg was for you generally? Different. Any interesting of like funny experience you had before you now moved back to Nigeria?
Okay, cool. So why I left Nigeria?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think leaving then was mostly because it was just new opportunity, like just something new, because then at the time, I had just left Mandela and I was freelancing for a while. So during that period when I was freelancing, there were a couple of friends we had, like people who had also like been at Mandela, who started Japaing.
And this was like 2018, right? Or before
2016?
2016. Sorry, I keep saying 2018. That was when
2016.
I wanted to
2016. So as early as 2016, like 2016, I was still in Mandela, but as at even that time, just about the time when I left Mandela, I think that was when like the first person like moved to Germany. A couple of people started getting remote jobs, and there was a lot of stuff happening then, and you're like, oh, But yeah, it also coincided with when I left. But anyways, people started moving. I had heard of like at least two people who had moved to Germany. So the one who you met, and Udo, who has now left Germany.
Isn't that in the UK?
Yeah, it's not in the UK. I think I stumbled across like a job site, for jobs in Germany, and then I put my profile there, and then I got like an offer on that platform. So
what job platform did you use?
It's called Honeypot.
Oh, that's the one I use.
Yeah.
Maybe stop taking Nigerians.
Really?
Because of how hard it is to get to visa.
Oh.
At least at the last time I checked.
Right, that would make sense actually. Well, anyways, Honeypots, I got like, I think I remember like two companies I was speaking to. I actually landed my offer on that site with Cartable. So I had to make a decision. I spoke to like a friend, we spoke about it, and then she was like, yeah, like it's new, you're young, you should totally. And to be honest, I feel like it's mainly because of her advice that I just felt like, okay, maybe I should just do it.
Why were you considering not doing it?
I think it was just like a very big move, I think I wasn't doing too bad at the time. Like I said, I was freelancing, so on Gigstar, I had just gotten like a few clients. I think I had like 2 clients I was working with at the time. They're paying USD, so.
And you're in Nigeria.
Yeah. And I had a very chill life. At the time when I started earning like enough, like I used to work a lot, but I would just go to Bugubiri like some weekends. It was a very chill life.
Did you ever meet at Bugubiri?
Maybe. Maybe. How often did you used to go?
That day of concerts, was it every month?
Yeah, I used to go like.
Yeah, that was like the.
So many seats at some point.
Yeah.
It's very, very likely. But yeah, I used to go a lot with my friends. I had just started settling into that life, so moving would mean just like stopping a lot of things, and there were definitely a lot of things like I would have to give up. So that was the main consideration, like whether I should take it. I'm obviously already working remote. I'm already earning the USD, so I can choose to do this and to still be fine. Versus just like, because it would literally mean. And another thing is like, I think the offer was kind of like I would resume like in 2 months. So I would basically be upping and leaving, like just like Japa. You know what I mean? So I think I was just like, you sure I want to do this, So, but anyways, I guess the rest is history. I applied for like my visa. That also took like I think 6 weeks or so.
Your visa took 6 weeks.
Yeah, it was pretty fast.
Yeah, with the lucky ones.
Yeah.
Mine took like 5 months.
Yeah, it was really fast. I got an appointment fast. I got an appointment like 1 month, and then I think my thing came out like 2 weeks after or something like that. So it was very straightforward, which was pretty cool.
Nice. Okay. So after you now moved to Germany, how was first like your first day experience? Because some people's first day experience, you came 1 month, did you come?
I came in July.
You came summer. I came at
Was
good
it
time
good
then.
time? Was it
Yeah.
very good
I
time?
came in February. Oh my god.
Oh shit.
I was not expecting it. So luckily,
And
the day I
that's
came.
the height.
Yes, February is like worst bad winter.
Yeah.
But when I came, I had this jacket, trench coat.
But probably was not enough.
I wish I had that experience at the airport, right? Because I came out and I went straight into like a taxi, and then I was like, the sun is shining, everything's fine. And the next day, because I came on a Thursday and I went to work on Friday, like I went to work almost immediately. And oh my god, the cold that hits me. You know when you first come out, you don't feel it.
Yeah.
Then I had gotten to the bus station.
Yeah.
Then it was now started snowing. Oh my god.
No.
It was bad.
I still remember the day like very vividly, when I landed airports, I was just like, it just felt, everything was just,
shiny.
I was like, oh wow, I'm definitely in a new country.
Yeah.
And I think also, I guess the anxiety we Nigerians have, just like, I kind of didn't like relax until I got to the taxi. It's like, okay, I passed through immigration now I can chill,
Yeah.
So, there was that. But I got to the taxi, which I think was a good decision because I think maybe if I had gone to public transport, I would have maybe fought to somebody else. That was a joke anyways. But just like, because public transport is in Germany. But taxi was just good because it just took me directly home. But it's pretty expensive. It was like 60 euros. But also the good thing was like I got like an Airbnb for like the first few days. I had like a shared room in like somebody's house. The place I even booked the Airbnb, was like in Bergedorf, which is really
very
far
far
away.
away,
But I didn't know then. So there was all of that. But I mean it was pretty okay. I think from the first day I had already started getting some signs.
What signs?
I stayed in a shared apartment.
Yeah.
So I lived with the German, you know what I mean? So from the first day I was talking on the phone, it was like, I'm talking too loud.
Yeah. Wow.
I was like, and he came twice. He came the first time, I was like, you're talking too loud. He came the second time, but he actually kind of raised his voice. He didn't raise his voice.
Yeah.
But you know how Germans are like one day like,
and you don't even talk
loud.
loud.
Talking to you, He's like, you said like, keep it down. I was like,
wow.
I was actually, that was the first time I was kind of shocked because like I didn't expect, obviously maybe I had my expectations wrong, or I don't know, maybe I expected everybody to be nice,
At least for first day,
newcomer, but he was just already like there, and things like I kind of knew he did not mean it, but at the same time I was kind of also offended. You know what I mean? I think that was already like the first time I had already started getting this German paradox that I usually feel sometimes. It's like, are they being offensive or are they not?
Are they just being straight?
Yes, exactly. So I think I kind of felt it that first day already, but I didn't think too much of it. It wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
Also because I was like in the outskirts, it was pretty chill. Also, I think I had like a weekend to relax because I came on a Friday, and then I think I had to resume on Monday. So we went out, he took us out to like go eat,
The same guy that you.
I mean, he was not a bad person. He was just German. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he took us out to eat once, but that was it. Like after that first day, he took me out to eat.
At least he even tried.
Yeah, they even tried now. I'm saying, but I mean, to be honest, I was actually kind of like shocked as well. Then because it's like after the first day, I basically did not see this guy ever again. And this guy used to live in the same house, but he would just come back, just goes to his room. It's like the whole house is just quiet. I'm like, is there anybody living in this house? And the rules is like I had to clean the toilet after I used it. you know, and like when I went to the toilet, like toilet was like really clean, so it was like, you know, like yeah, like it was just like okay, standards here are a little different, you know. I started, you know, like being more observant, you know. So yeah, I think that was basically like my first experience with Germany. It wasn't so bad, you know. I just feel like yeah, like it just starts also because I feel like how I came, you know, because obviously like I just came. I didn't really know anything about Germany. Went to Airbnb, you know, I already started interacting with people. So there were a lot of things I feel for me, like it was just creeping up on me gradually.
Did anything else happen after like your experience with that guy?
No, like it was pretty great. It was pretty great. Like after that day, it was just, you know, that, and then, you know, he obviously used to help me, like tell me like how to go around, like where to get stuff, you know. But I think it was just the shock of of that initial, you know, like he was actually pretty nice. It was actually pretty nice. Like even after I left, like I gave them like some gifts. Like I had some.
How long did you stay with them?
I stayed for like 2 weeks, I think.
Okay.
Because I was just stay for 1 week, and then I think I extended for like another week or so because I hadn't found an apartment. So yeah, but I gave him some gifts, and then after I gave him the gifts, he now came. I was like, oh, would you like something to eat? I wish I have known this guy is this. Like, I'm like,
oh, this reciprocal. Now you feel bad. Yeah.
This was my. I just started observing. Okay, so this is how these guys are. You know what I'm talking about.
I know.
So I'm like, I'm like, when he asked me, I'm like, no.
No, please.
I don't want any of the food. Not even poison. I was just like, I was not offended or anything, but like, yeah, just some of those character things that are coming out already.
So after you moved out, getting your apartment
and
everything, like just Hamburg in general for you, like how was it just, because I remember when I was telling people I was moving, I didn't tell people, but like every time someone like, you live in Hamburg, oh my god, it's such a beautiful city, and I'm like,
like Hamburg is really
it's just water like it's beautiful, right? But it was not, I guess it was not my idea of like a beautiful city, right? Because I think coming from Lagos, you would like, even why I even define places in Lagos, not even plenty places like that, but like Lagos itself, the places that look nice, like when you're going from that mainland bridge, like when you're looking down, those places look nice. It's the colors and the people and everything. And I feel like Hamburg was more like grey.
Nature.
Yeah, it was just the opposite. So I guess for me, I wouldn't count that as conventionally beautiful. It was nice and neat and everything, but I think for me, I wouldn't just define it as beautiful just because of my definition. Yeah,
it's definitely, I know, I totally understand what you mean. I think here in Europe generally, they just have like a different, you know, like perception for things, you know, like things that are beautiful. Like I feel like here, when you say things are beautiful, it's more like not nature, you know, like it's green.
Yeah, true, green and water.
And then water, you know, like in Munich apparently, like it's really beautiful because of that. You know, there's lots of mountains and stuff. Yeah. So I think Hamburg is kind of that, and also because like everything is organized, you know. But yeah, to be honest, after you live in Hamburg, like as a Nigerian anyway, that beauty, I need to see it. It's like, all this beauty is not, it's not entering the eye at all. Yeah. This was how it was for me. Like I said, like, you know, it just, these things were just coming at me, you know, like one by one. I was just having, you know, even with I can tell you experiences I had with even like my landlord. You know, I think once I moved to like my new place, you know, then, you know, obviously like walking on the roads, you just start to like observe a lot of things.
What were the things you observed? Because I feel like you observe more things than me, for example. Because my own problem was I didn't observe things outside, like with maybe strangers or anything. I feel like I only noticed people staring when maybe the first time Sarah came to visit me, right? And I think we went to hang out with you and Godson. And of course, Sarah is very tall, so she gets a lot of stares anyways. And then I was just noticing people stare a lot in Hamburg. I was just like, really? And I had no idea. And then Michelle also came and she mentioned the same thing. Exactly. I was like, I didn't notice. My own issue was with my own internal, like work, apartment, everything. So I didn't notice
the outside.
At the outside.
Yeah. No, for me, like, I think I had both. I don't know, because I also had my work issues. But my work issues, I think I was able to resolve that because like I was just like, I know my shit. You know what I mean? Like you can't come and tell me like this was my attitude. I was like, because I sensed it, you know, like the first time I got to the workplace. Obviously they've interviewed me and they know like you're a smart guy, all of that, you know, you come here, you know, but you know, you just come and you notice just a lot of skepticism. You know, everybody's just questioning you for no reason. It's like, is this your first job? I'm like,
why
would you hire me
so?
if this is my first job? You know what I mean? And stuff like that. You know, obviously like the whole country is new to me, so there are things like, you know, I would do that would be different. But when they started just questioning, you know, my work, you know, I started, you know, that was something like I feel like I could not just take, you know, at least for me personally, I've always been, you know, for me, I think this is something like that's very important to me. Like, I'm good at what I do, you know what I mean? So I feel like I showed myself, like, in like the first few weeks, and after I showed myself, no, they were like, no, like this, like, they were like, okay, they're fine, like, okay, this guy knows what he's doing. And I feel like after I did that, I had less, obviously, like, you still have colleagues who still, you know, have like some strange personalities, but I figured out a lot of those things were kind of like personality things, you know, and you know, a lot of times, you know, I think it wasn't really a problem, you know, for a lot of times. I just feel like, yeah, I just understood that these guys are going to doubt you, you know what I mean? I just more and more, like, everybody that meets you, you're from Nigeria, you know, they just, you know, they have a narrative, or they would like to come up with some narrative. So I just feel like for me, you know, at least that my first day of work, I just feel like I just had to just prove myself, and yeah, that was what I was doing. Basically, you know, I was like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna let anybody, you know, it's bad enough that you guys are, you know, looking down on us.
Just generally, you're not looking down on you individually.
You can't, you know, don't come and start questioning my work again. Like, this is something I cannot. So yeah, I think for work, that was how I took care of that.
Yeah.
You know, but for other things, I feel like it's just this general, you know, just like public transport, for instance. You know, like my first day of work, like that was another experience I had. You know, when I asked somebody for directions. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, and it was not even like, it was like I was just standing, I just came. You know, I was just looking at the board. I didn't really understand what was going on. I was like, oh, you know, and I saw something like, oh, excuse me. You know, even when I even said excuse me, it was just weird. You know what I mean? I think I had to say like 3 times, first of all, to get his attention.
Yeah.
And then I got his attention still, why are you talking to me kind of thing. You know, I first of all noticed that, you know, I shall get my question through, like, okay, is this train going to blah blah direction? That's what I wanted to know.
Yeah.
And he's like, yes. And end of story. But I just said you can't realize it. And then even getting on the train, you know, and just, you know, just noticing how people move. You know what I mean? It's like I stand here, you know, you move this way. I was just like, I sit here, you know, like there were times, you know, in Hamburg where it's like, yeah, just coming to the train. This was like my first week, for instance. I come to the train. It's like, okay, I look. I see like a free seat. I just go there because like it's a free seat. I just go sit there, and it's just the fact that people just feel confident enough to really just stand up and leave. And I'm like,
and it's not like they're leaving to stand up, because one thing they're leaving to go to the door. Because people would at least form like they don't want to sit down anymore. They want to stand. They want to sit down somewhere else.
So I'm just like, these people feel like they're really comfortable doing that, and it's like, okay, you know. So some of those things just like, I think. This was when I think I got into the habit of actually plugging my ears, because it was just too much. Like, too much was happening. Like, you know, public transport in Germany is something else, just because, like, I feel like it all goes down there. All the prejudice. You see everything in public transport. You know what I mean? So I feel like my week, like my first weeks in Hamburg, just interacting with public transport and just, you know, for my first experience, asking somebody. Obviously, I never spoke to anybody like after that, and then, you know, getting on the train and just seeing, first of all, how people were just staring at me, and it's like I just look around and everybody's just looking at you, and I'm like,
what's happening?
Why is, you know, and you know, I literally, and I think since that day was when I like literally like stopped making eye contact with people, because like it was just too much, you know what I mean? And then, you know, you obviously noticed, you know, people's issues with personal space, let's just put it like that, you know, like going to sit like let's say in somebody's cubicle, and yeah, I mean obviously they have every right to, you know, but these are things I feel like for me I just had to learn on the fly. You know, for instance, like how women would act. You know, this one actually happened to me like in my apartment. I just came out. I was about to go and take away my trash, and a lady was just running out. It was bright though. It was not dark.
Oh, not dark.
It was not dark. It was bright, and she was running out. And I think she was taking a run. And basically, when she opened the door was exactly when I was about to get in. The way she was startled, like I've never seen anybody get startled. Like it's like,
Wow, she actually shouted loud.
She shouted, and she was like she had seen something like really scary, and I was like,
but that's so weird.
I was like, what kind of threats did you think you were under? You know what I'm saying? To warrant that, and after she chilled and she's like, oh, she was so scared, blah 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 blah. I was like, oh sorry, I live here, or you know what I mean, and then. You know, she runs off, you know. So, I mean, I'm having all these experiences, and all these experiences are doing to me is just, you know, it's just pushing, you know, I'm just moving away and just getting more into my shell, you know, because, you know, as much as a lot of people try to say, you know, you can't, you know, I mean, you know, it was just, I feel for me, I was just learning a lot, you know, I learned. You know, Germans say this thing, like, they say when people show you their true colors,
you believe that.
You know, this kind of thing, I now started seeing this sort of thing.
Nigeria say that too, but yeah.
But I mean, like, you see it here, you see all these things being applied. Germans are not people, they don't use their words, they use their actions to, you understand? And by the time you see, you know, how people act, you know, in certain ways, you don't need a prophet to tell you this is what, you know, you don't need a prophet to tell you when somebody, you know, like, you know, just, I mean, to be honest, like, I can't really remember like all the experiences I've like gone. And to be honest, I don't feel like any of my experiences were like violent in any way, but they were definitely enough to just send a clear message. And in some cases, like how I found out just how ladies, you know, are just unnecessarily like afraid of black people here, and you know how all of a sudden I now had to start being like conscious, you know, like whenever, you know, I'm around, because I just noticed it, like whenever I'm around like some ladies just start being cautious, you know, they're just looking around, you know, grabbing what they can, in some cases moving in the other direction. There's only a case where I was walking behind a lady like for like a distance, and she just stopped and just moved to the side, just moved it for me to pass, just because I was behind her.
And it's not like this never happened to you in Nigeria, did it?
Never. Like, to be honest, like the only day, like, it's when I came here that I knew that I could be intimidating. You know what I mean? Or like it's something. You know what I mean? So it's something I had to kind of learn. You know what I mean? Like I had to learn how to understand that this is how people look at me. So I have to act accordingly, because if you don't, you know, like it's just you just get into like unwarranted, you know, situations, you know, that you don't want, you know. Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, for me, I just feel like observing a lot of these things, you know, for me, I just started becoming, you know, I feel like my interaction with public transport, of course, you know, co-workers, and then just generally with people, even like meeting people, you know, just seeing how they, you know, the act towards, you know, how like in Nigeria you meet somebody and they're just like open, you know. A lot of people are like, oh, this is a Nigeria thing, but to be honest, like
it's not just a Nigeria thing.
It's not just a Nigeria
you go
thing.
To
you know, like
Spain or even Italy, and
it's different. Yeah, it's like I'm a foreigner, you're a foreigner. It's like, yeah, let's, you know, I'm happy to see
hi.
you.
Yeah,
it's like, but here it's like it's so people are so cautious. It's like they don't want to let you into their space, you know, until they are really sure. And I feel like for Germans, it's like they like to feel like they have to be the ones to like, you know, like accept you. You know what I mean? And to be honest, you know, this is something like I'm kind of like a proud guy, which is one of my reasons why, like, you know, like even making friends with like some Germans and I usually just try to take it easy. Not that stay away, like I'll be friends with you, but like, you know, don't let them feel like, you know, like maybe you depend on them.
Oh, yeah, like this friendship is a
or, like,
privilege.
it's like I try to let you know, like, no. You are privileged to know me.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm the one, you know, like I don't try to give them that, because if you do, like this is their assumption. This is their assumption.
Yeah.
They'll just assume it, they start to think in that way, and then eventually at some point you just start to get treated in a way that you don't like, you know what I mean? So yeah, I've seen all these things just through, you know, like the relationships I've had, you know, the way, you know, people in like my workplace, you know, like the way they treat you sometimes. And I feel like that first week I was there, like even I couldn't really like make friends with people, just because, you know, like it's not just a thing you do in Germany apparently.
It's your work.
Yeah, you know, like I'm like these are all like young people that if I was in Nigeria, like, you know, like at least you exchange, you know, and you know, here all of a sudden you just notice that it's not saying people don't want to talk, but you know, you talk to people and yeah, you just notice maybe you notice they don't just want to like open up or stuff like that. You still see that there's still a bit
They're
of
still
like
guarded a bit.
yeah, like I don't really know where this guy is from, you know. So I feel like these are kind of things I experienced. I feel like after my first company though, you know, I had learned so much of these things that, you know, my attitude changed so much that I feel like my experiences even started to change to some extent, because like I started becoming like, to be honest, like if you see me on the road, like I don't make eye contact with anybody. I'm like
straight to the point.
I'm like straight. You know, and now I now notice some people, you know, who would maybe otherwise be like maybe intimidated, or they now start observing like, why is this guy not even looking?
You're not noticing.
You get my point, and it's like so. It's like that's not what it takes to, you know. It's like I have to not be nice for you to.
Did you have the same experience when you moved to Berlin with the whole like people being scared of you?
I mean, in Berlin, it happens. It happens obviously, like in certain scenarios. I still am very. I feel like this is something that now is part of me. Like I'm just when I'm just around the place, I try to notice everyone around me, and like, you know, if it feels like an intimidating situation, I just stay away from it, because yeah, I'm not ready to start. I also feel like I don't like startling people. You know, I feel like it's traumatic for me sometimes, you know, when, you know, everybody...
When you feel like you're a threat.
Yeah, it's like whenever you feel like every time I step in front of somebody, the person is just like adjusting. It's like, I don't want to have that situation, you know, I'm gonna stay away from that. So it happens in Berlin, maybe not as much as Hamburg. I feel like a lot in Hamburg, because like there's like fewer people, you know, there are lots of you know, it's a big town, but
so
it's
strange
like a small town.
There are more black people in Hamburg than anywhere else in Germany. But funny enough, like this experience you've had, or the experiences you've had, I feel like in Berlin was opposite for me.
Right.
Like as soon as I came to Berlin, like even my workplace, people were very receptive from the beginning. Like people were nicer on the road, people would respond. Like in places where, because in Hamburg I was like, maybe it's a German thing, but then I came to Berlin, I'm like, okay, people are actually nicer and receptive here. Yeah. Which was like, so maybe it's a city thing, or maybe it's just the people I was unlucky to meet. Yeah. Right, I don't know.
No, I think that's part of, like in Berlin, definitely I get that vibe, you know, but why I said like it's similar because they're still Germans here. So, well, I don't want to say it's a German thing, but like it's like, you know, a lot of the influences you're getting, a lot of times, if you find out they are not Germans, a lot of times.
Yeah,
like,
a lot of non-Germans.
Yeah, it's like, you know, I've met a lot of Indians. These are people I've had experiences. Although I've actually met really, like my current company is 3 Germans and they're great. You get my point. And these are like, I feel like this is like 1 in a million experience. Like I had that same kind of positive experience that you had. Like, you know, like they were really nice and really receptive. But I feel like, yeah, maybe you would find more of those types of people in Berlin. But yeah, there's still definitely a mix.
Yeah, there is.
Find, like,
and also I feel like the society too is it's more pro open-minded. So if you're more of those people, like if you're closed-minded and then you're being like subtly racist, more people will call you out on that bullshit.
This is true.
Yeah.
I feel like in Berlin, people are definitely more, I think, like you said, the society is more accepting of, which is why, like, I feel like I also feel better. Even you always see, like, in Hamburg, it's like a bigger black population. I feel better as a black person here.
I do.
You know, because I feel like it's a more overall. In Hamburg, it was mostly negative. You know what I mean? And to be honest, I feel like my quality of life was
Was higher?
was kind of higher. So
The
like,
houses were nicer.
yeah, it's like my standard of life is
living.
higher,
Yeah.
but then people look down on you.
Yeah,
you know what I
explain
mean?
that in
But
standard
then
of
you
living
come,
versus standard of life.
yeah,
It's like your living situations are good, but your life, like
it's
how you
just
actually feel
horrible,
is shit. Yeah.
But here it's like my standard of life is shitty. Like I'm living in the
Oh
trenches.
my god, that's
But
true.
my life I feel like is significantly better. You
That's
know
so
what I
true
mean?
because
So,
my
yeah.
apartment in Hamburg was really nice, it was
Yeah.
very big, but I was so unhappy there. But in Berlin, I was living in a shoebox.
Yes. Yeah. Like my first apartment in Berlin was literally, if you say she was like 20 meters square.
Oh, that's a prison. How are they renting out
But
this
I was excited in the apartment because like it was a student apartment. So at the very least, there were students
The
around.
vibe
And the
student
students were
apartment was
definitely
nice.
like, you know, these were not people who would like see you and run away from you. You know, at the very least, you know, they wave a bit or, you know, it was like as if I was even see. It just felt
I think the
more
energy
positive.
is just
Yeah, it was just
better.
a different energy. It's like you just see people around, you know, and whenever you come across people, you don't even have to say hi to them. You just feel a certain warmth, like you know, people are happy to be around you. You know what I mean? You know, so I actually really liked the apartment, you know, compared to like Hamburg.
Interesting. So when did you now finally say, okay, I've had enough of Hamburg? Like, what was the breaking point? Because
Yeah.
you moved to Nigeria from Hamburg,
Yeah. No, the breaking point was during COVID. It was definitely during COVID. I think it was.
Yeah,
when,
that's true. You spent COVID in Hamburg.
Yeah, it's not COVID.
I left right before.
I don't COVID in Hamburg. COVID, most of it safe.
Yeah.
Most of it. So I think I had been in my company for how long now? A year plus. I think a year plus. It was I think around October. So like a year, 3 months, so thereabouts. And yeah, I remember the day actually. I went. So what had been happening is that because of this COVID, you know, you had to wear masks on trains, on buses. I wasn't really seeing people. I wasn't really going out. You know, and every time I went out, it was always frustrating because I was using public transport and I would.
You still having.
Have-
You kept on having these
an
experiences
encounter.
consistently.
Yeah.
You're so unlucky. Oh my god. At least I think the rest of us had a break.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Maybe I'm intimidated. I don't know.
No,
I
you're
just feel-
definitely not. That's so
Yeah.
strange because I feel like in Nigeria, right, the
Yeah.
guys are intimidating. You're intimidating with your looks,
Yeah.
right? Someone that is tall, you look like a bouncer, and still, that's still not seen as intimidating. Like I would expect that to be intimidating, but that's not your stereotype. That's not how you look. So it's
That's
so
what I
weird.
thought.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Which is why it was really, I would say it was really traumatizing for me. And that's the only way I can put it. Because nowadays, like I said, like one of the reasons why I can't make eye contact with people is just because of like how many times, you know, it has happened that, you know, someone sees me and they just
Clutch
you know,
bells.
they just act in a certain way, and it's like this was something like I was never used to. Like you said, like in Nigeria, it's like I was never seen as the intimidating guy. You know, so you come here, and you know you have so many experiences where it's always the case that you know. So to be honest, like it was just too much for me. Another thing is like I'm very observant.
Exactly. I was going to say
That's
like,
the thing.
I feel like
I observe people quite a lot. Maybe a bit much, you know. But to be honest, I don't think is like to the level of paranoia. I don't think so because I only started noticing these things when I came here. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of these things and a lot of the experiences I had, people were having the same experiences. It was the same confusion I had, you know, because a lot of times it was still the same thing. It was like I'm not able to classify this thing. And whenever I read about it, it was always this is how gaslighting feels. this is what it feels like, you know.
Yep.
It's like you're not quite
it's
sure.
like you feel like you're going crazy, right?
Yes.
Until you now meet someone that validates how you feel like, okay, you're actually not crazy because everyone is acting like everything is chummy and going well.
So yeah, that was just so what happened was that like it just like basically one of those days when I was like on public transport, I was just angry, you know. I think it was just so like few people, you know, basically every time I go out, you know, I don't come in contact with people. I'm not really like, you know, interacting with anyone, you know, and it was just like I was always frustrated, you know, like just being on public transport and just, you know, like it's just like I was angry
Yeah.
You know, about.
Yeah, that's
I was
angry.
angry being in Hamburg because
Yeah.
like I was home most of the time, and every time I go out, I'm not happy being out because I'm in a bus where I just feel so uncomfortable because somebody is maybe just staring at me too much. And Bergedorf is, you know, old people live there, and you know the old Germans are usually the ones that
they're
have
the funny
a lot
ones.
of, I've had, there was even one experience I had like on the school bus when, you know, it was like a bus, and then there were students that came in, all the students had sat down, and I think one kid, you know, I think one of that kid was like, oh, you should go and sit down there.
Yeah.
He was like, no.
Oh.
I was like, no. And he was like, no, he will sit somewhere else. And
A child?
Yeah, a child. And then he went to sit somewhere else. And what happened, how I knew, because that's the thing I say I observed was the parents or one lady that sat beside me, when she was now leaving, this woman when I came in, we had not greeted, this is not somebody I know. When she now came out, she was going out, she now started telling me, oh, you know, kind of like greeting me.
Pacifying me.
Kind of pacifying me, but also kind of maybe trying to sign to children that,
it's
okay to talk to this guy, you know what I mean? Because she was kind of like, you know, she went out and she was like, you know, kind of like, bye, you know, kind of. But I was like, you know, we're not friends, you know what I mean? So I observed, you know, this is why I say I'm observing. I observed the whole scenario, like how everything happened, how the child did that. I obviously observed, I didn't talk, you know what I mean? And then this parents trying to like talk to me, you know, to make it feel like it's okay, you know, that kind of thing. But you know, what had happened had already happened, you know what I mean? So
that's very interesting, that experience, right? Because
Yeah.
I was talking to a friend, Iboka, I think not too long ago, and I was talking about how he goes to his kids, he has German kids, so he goes every week to their school to read to them, and it's something he does on purpose because he was like, those children don't see black people read to them. Like they have black children come to them, and then they have activities where parents come to school to read, but they never see a black parents do that. So they are not exposed to this. So they see a black man outside and then they're scared because they're not used to the person, one. Then they probably have parents that have said weird things too, and then it's hard for children to reconcile, right? Someone has said they don't really understand race, and then you probably have a colleague or a classmate that is black, but then your classmate is nice to you, but your parents is saying weird things about them or not even acknowledge them at all. You don't see them in storybooks, you don't see them on TV. Can imagine seeing a black person on German TV. It's maybe like 1 in 10 shows or something. Yeah, that was just interesting.
Yeah, so that's.
You suffer,
I don't like to see that stuff. I feel like I just lived through all these experiences.
You went through the experiences, and there were lots of them.
There were just so many of them. The one where mostly public transport, like I said. This one, I think I took
you and
this one.
HBV. That's there.
This one was like, it was three. Actually, it was me and it was me. There were 3 guys actually. So this one, I don't really blame the lady. But the thing again, this is broad daylight, 6 a.m. basically. I was going to the office like early morning. You know, early morning train. Everybody's
cranky,
like,
packed together.
You know, so we came into the train. This one was not even that packed. So it was just 3 guys. This lady just sat down. She sat down. She just looked up. She just stood up and went. I was like, okay. No, I didn't even feel bad. So I just started laughing because I was like, it's even good you left. Yeah.
Wow. Oh my god. That kind of thing, you just start laughing. Everybody just starts, should just start laughing on this spot.
All this happen. Or let's say there's like a coach, you know, there's different coaches. And this one happened. This one has happened like in the night once. And let's say I'm just sitting in the coach, just going back. And somebody comes into the coach. And just, let's say, trainers don't start moving. The person sat down already. The person has out. And I'm just bro.
You actually leave the train.
They leave the coach and go to another coach.
Yes.
I see them.
And going to another coach, you can even miss the train. They don't care.
I'm seeing them going to another coach. Wow. I'm just like,
So what's that particular? Any specific thing happen? Because
so that particular,
because you went to Nigeria, you did not leave.
So the thing is that at that time I had decided to leave Hamburg. I think I kind of decided to leave Germany because I was like, also I was kind of watching a lot of videos. It was COVID period. You know, so there was also yeah, I think I had already started leaning towards like wanting to go to Nigeria to do something, you know what I mean? Like startup, you know, also work was kind of becoming like repetitive, you know, at that point. So it was a combination of things. Like work was going to, but I think some people had resigned from my,
It's true,
from
your
my
company
team.
was. Yeah,
That was cool, yeah.
yeah.
So the company had resigned, you know, like the work has started becoming a bit like repetitive in a way that, you know, even coming up with features sometimes is a bit difficult, and then getting students to work as well was also really hard. So I was working, you know, actually I was the one that was working the most in the team.
Yes,
I was the only one that
new
was full
products,
time. Yeah.
yes.
You know,
Back.
so like, you know, I was kind of
Was you the
stressed
only
out
full-time
with
staff
that.
on the team?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Even the other full-time guy had left, then the product manager was now the last full-time person that left, and then I was now the only full-time guy.
Oh, well, that's rough,
in the team
actually.
with the students, you know. So I think when all of that was happening, and then, you know, COVID and the whole mask, and I think that day I was just on the bus. Nothing really happened. It was just like just on the bus and just angry as usual. I was just like,
You're telling me about other
what am
things
I
that
doing
used to
here?
make you angry in Hamburg, apart from the things that happened.
Like what?
You're telling me about like home and stuff like that. Apart from like, did anything? So apart from everything happening outside in Hamburg,
Yeah.
was there any other thing that you just were not happy about?
Well, to be honest, like I said, like before I moved, you know, my parents divorced. So yeah, I think I was kind of still grappling with that. You know, I mean, I like to believe like I had come to terms with it, but obviously I think with divorce, you know, which is what people who have parents who are non-divorced know, it's just never straightforward, you know what I mean? It's not because I mean you have two parents that are fighting with each other.
Yeah.
So
And you can't exactly take
it's tricky.
sides.
Yeah, it's tricky.
Okay.
Well,
You
in
can't
our
actually.
case, there was actually a bit of taking sides, you know. So yeah, there was that, you know. So I feel like that wasn't really a problem. Although I was kind of dealing with that in Germany, but to be honest, I don't feel like it was the most serious problem. What I would say is that maybe if I had a more stable family, maybe that would have been a good like padding for me.
Yeah.
You know, just to feel like, you know, I can call home and things are fine. You know what I mean? So for me, like it's like home existed, but like it was so disjointed because it was just my dad, my brother, my mom, you know, and everybody was kind of in different places at the time, so there was not like one unit. So I feel like already like leaving like Nigeria to Germany, yeah, like I definitely felt alone. You know what I mean? Just overall,
Exactly.
I feel like that maybe that constituted a lot of my approach, my mindsets in Germany. Like I was just like independent. You know what I mean? It's like I had nobody to rely on. You know, because even I was even supported by my parents back. My dad is back home. My whole family, because my dad, my mom.
Black. That's like black
Yeah,
tax, right?
exactly.
Yeah.
My dad, my mom, my brother. I was, you know, I supported my brother's business, supported my dad, you know, and you know, I was doing that, you know, obviously before I left, but also like after I left, you know. So yes, there was definitely that, you know, that maybe kind of added to it, you know. But you know, to be honest, I feel like it was also kind of good. I wouldn't say it was bad, because I feel like maybe that's what, you know, made me kind of, you know, be able to go through all of that, you know, because yeah, you know, I feel like Germans are similar in that way. It's like they're very independent.
Yeah.
You know, so I kind of
So you learn from
live
them.
my life like a German, you know what I mean? And a lot of things, which is why I say like a lot of things like I've learned here, they kind of came onto me because, you know, it kind of made sense for me as well. You know, because like a lot of things in my life were kind of similar. Like, you know, I didn't have like family life was okay. I mean, obviously I had connection to like my siblings, my parents and all of that, but it wasn't like, you know, like family life the way we know it in Nigeria.
Yeah.
That one had changed.
Nuclear,
You know, it was not that, it was something else. It was just I had relationships individually with
Everybody.
different people. So yeah, my mindset had already started changing in that regard, you know. So yeah, I would say, you know, you would be right to say maybe that
influenced, yeah.
that influenced like my whole experience. And obviously when that's the case, and then you come here and it's like I didn't really have people here. So yeah, I was alone.
But did you try to like make friends at some point? Like even before Gotin came, did you like do anything actively? Or did you expect that maybe you make friends at work and that just didn't happen?
I expected
like,
I'd make friends at
whatever.
work, but that did not happen, so that was disappointing. I made some friends like CU. I met like some CU people in Hamburg. Like it was a girl I met, Ewadi. You know, she was like one of my good friends that period. You know, because we go out to eat together, and she had also been in Germany for quite longer than I was. You know, so yeah, that was definitely like that. I think I was lucky because I think I even met her like the first Sunday because I went to church. And
I met you in church too.
Oh, you did?
That's true. That was the first place I met.
Yeah, that was the second time I went to church. I'm serious.
It's so interesting. You keep meeting people in church and you're still not religious. Are you
No,
religious now?
not
No, you're not.
No.
And did that change with Germany or before Germany?
It had already started changing before Germany.
And then Germany solidified it. Or
Yes,
what?
Germany
How?
solidified it.
Like in what way did that?
Because like when I just came here, it was just like, yes. I was like, it's true. I agreed with everything.
They're like, oh, they don't like
We
God.
shouldn't go to church.
No church here, yes.
It's like, it makes so much sense. I was like, you know, this was one way, like Germany. I was like, wow.
That option
I was like, yo, these guys have so much sense. It's like, why would you be religious?
So before you came to Germany, were you going to church like regularly? Was that?
Not really. I was in the choir.
What? Yeah, I know you can sing. You're in CU choir.
I was in the choir. Yeah.
Damn. And you're in choir in your church at home.
Yes, DCC, David Christian Center. It's in choir. Yeah.
Interesting. Your church has blown now.
Yeah, it's a big church. Even though back then it was still a bit big, you know. But that's the thing. I was going to church mostly because of choir, you know. So.
But everything else, you're not like because
Yeah,
I find it interesting that you're in choir because that means you're a worker. You're going for rehearsals and everything.
That's the thing. Most of my choir experiences with every choir I've been to, CU choir as well, and this is probably what frustrates me out of the choir.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you have to do believers class.
Yeah.
You have to do like baptism if you've not been baptized.
Mm-hmm.
You have to do all this training before you can then like serve.
Yeah.
You know, and in all cases I went through it. Like in this is the same thing. I went through the whole thing. You know, but like, yeah, for me it's like because I'm not really like serious about the other parts. Like I don't want to be coming to like music service and all that stuff. So I just felt like it was just selfish if I was just coming just for the music, and then I would not. I was even because that's thing at the choir, and they were at the point they wanted to start making me like lead. And when they make
I said you
lead,
have leadership spirit.
no, that's when they start making you lead. Then you have to like come for everything.
Yeah.
So I know
You also have to have like a good spiritual life.
I
to,
stopped
like,
singing.
lead and
Yeah,
everything.
exactly.
I find it very interesting, right? Just like this whole like being a worker in church, right? And then but still having doubts about like religion and then what's all of these things that we're doing. Like, did you ever feel that way in Nigeria? Like apart from like
Yes,
church and
no,
everything,
definitely.
what's the essence of this?
Definitely.
Not
No,
on
I've been questioning religion all my life. I think I've been questioning religion since I was young. You know, like I had never like got to a point where I was like, oh yes, like I 100% believe in this. Like it had always been like 70%, you know, sometimes. So like I feel like what Germany did to me was just enable me just express what had already been in there for a long time, you know what I mean? So I just started accepting a lot of things that I'd already known, you know, like I'm not really sure, you know, about Christianity. Like I don't really know what happens after we die. Should we really go to heaven? Like these are questions I've always asked myself like since, you know, and I think one of the times I even like really started questioning that thing was when I met someone from Jehovah's Witness. And when they told me that there was no hell.
Yeah.
And you know that this was
And
the
then
first time
limited people enter heaven and stuff.
you know what I mean? This was the first time I was like, I understood this whole religion thing. I was like, what? So in your belief, you guys just don't have hell? it's like, yeah, you know, and it was kind of exciting for me, you know, because it was like, you know, because the way the guy preached it to me was like, oh, you know, how can you have a loving God who at the end of the day wants to destroy all his children in hell? You know, what kind of God is that? You know, and then you start to listen to a lot of, you know, preachings, you know, also like just teachings, you know, about people saying, you know, human beings tend to like put a lot of, you know, like God, a lot of God's personalities, I feel like human beings there's a lot of humanity. There's a lot of, people kind of humanify God. Let me just
they make God into what they understand.
Into what they understand, like how they understand. Yeah, exactly. So, by the time I started also like reading a lot about all this, like just like history and all of that stuff, as I started, I was just questioning everything too much. I was just like, I don't think I'm interested. I just felt like I was lying to myself if I say I believe in this thing wholeheartedly when I really don't, So
because I experienced the same thing when I came to Germany.
Are you Christian now?
I'm Christian now. I'm very, very Christian now. Because I was like, okay, if I'm doing this, I'm doing it properly.
Yeah.
Like now, I'm actually I was always like a worker, like right from when I was young.
Yeah.
So I never really I took believers class, but I've always been in church, so they kind of like exclude you in that way. Like I never had to like learn. My mom, so my dad is not super religious, but my mom is a pastor. So I've always been in church, always with her and everything. So I think people just expected that I knew things, and then I had questions, but I felt like I couldn't ask questions, right? Just I don't know why. Maybe just because of the way I saw people respond or like the answers they gave to others, but I just couldn't respond.
Have questions?
I did. So I didn't have questions. I had a lot of fear. So I was just like, okay, the whole concept of hell too was very scary to me. The whole God punishing people, you sin. So I heard this also. I think it was also a Jehovah's Witness because the evangelism was crazy. Right. And then they say, that even if you've been righteous all your life, if you sin like this and you die the next second, I was And then I had this like cousin that was older, and then I feel like he would use me and my brother. I don't know if my brother remembers when we were younger for like target practice for everything he learns, and then he would tell all these scary things about it, and I would be so scared. So I was always very scared. I was also like scared of asking questions too, because I'm like, what's it? I don't even know. I was scared a lot. Yeah. And then when I moved to Germany too, I also was like questioning, because I feel like this place gives you that environment to do that. Yeah. You don't have to go to church. You don't have to. But for me, what I kind of like said, okay, this is something I want to do, was I started to kind of like not even just study God. I felt like I started to like experience God for myself, because I was also like getting depressed. And it was different, because I used to get depressed in Nigeria. Kind of like a little bit prone to depression, that melancholy thingy. So but this was very different. I felt like there was this hopelessness that I was feeling at some point, and the only way I could get out of it was like through prayer. Right? So when I pray, I feel like better, or I just feel like someone hears me in that way. So I started to kind of like have those experiences, and I'm just like, okay, there is something there. There actually is a God. Like I do believe that there is a God. Heaven, hell, all of those things. And I was like, okay, I'm going to learn about these things for myself and not just take what everybody has said. Because what they've been saying has just been, at least in my experience, has just been do bad, go to hell, do good, go to heaven. And me, I'm like, but should you walk that way? But really, we don't. And I also came to the acceptance of like, okay, there's some things I just would not have the answers to, and that's fine. But I'm going to kind of like do this on my own terms and in my own way. And I feel like that's made me, because also like going to church that day when I met you guys was such it was like an answered prayer. So it was just all these like very tiny signs. And I'm just like, okay, I feel like there's a God and I really want to be on his side, that kind of thing. But I also like had all of that moments of like doubt and like, okay, I don't think I'm doing this again. Maybe these people are actually right. I'm like, no, they can't be right. God, religion is like thinking about it can give you an existential crisis. Thinking about who am I when I die, what happens. Which is one of the reasons why I feel like here as well. I feel like which is one of the reasons why I say like my experience in Germany, like obviously it's been a lot. There's a lot of things, but like at the end of the day, they've actually been lots of good things. You know, there've been lots of good things, and even though I don't see it as much, I feel like I've learned a lot of things. Just like I feel like the way, and this is also like in the good and the bad. Like one thing is like the way Germans like accept their humanity. You know what I mean? I feel like
the system in Germany is kind of built for Germans. You know what I mean? You see that, you know, they put things in there for themselves to make their lives better. You know what I mean? So they are not really like, just like this whole thing of like Nigerians being hypocrites. I think Nigerians are just hypocrites. You know, there are a lot of Nigerians who claim to be religious. You know, but like, you know,
they're really not.
They're absolutely really.
But that's all. That's all they
so
know.
It's like why? Which is why when I came here, it's like why
Why
lie
we
to
lying?
myself? Like
Yeah.
it's like I just like the fact that people were able to just be like, I'm not. You get my point? Like I feel like for me, I felt like that was just 100%, which is why it was so releasing for me. It was just 100% sincere. It was like I'm not going to try to learn about this thing that I've been grappling with for a long time and that has been giving me sleepless nights, and you know, I don't know whether I'm on God's side. You know, I have to just, you know, it's like I'm not going to think about all of these things. You know, I'm just not going to think about it. I'm just going to just live my life.
Yeah.
And just, you know, obviously I feel like the good parts of Christianity, which I'm also now learning now, is that you now understand the fact that when all these things are not the case, that's when this hypocrisy is not the case, like hypocrisy in Nigeria, and when people are not real. When
they are real, we go, yeah.
When you are a real,
like Christian.
No.
Or what?
When you are real, like when you get down to who you are without religion, like who you are as a person.
Yeah.
Then you will now understand the value of religion. Because I now understood my personality. Like without this whole Nigerian hypocrisy, who are you? Do you get my point? Who are you? How do you react? We don't
know these things.
We don't.
And it feels like when you want to go on that search, you just get ostracized.
Yep.
It takes a certain level of privilege in Nigeria to say you're not religious, because it's the whole environment, the whole society system is built on that. They go to church.
But even so, I think also in Nigeria there is also this whole there's the kind of twisted version of right and wrong in Nigeria as well. You know, that's in addition to there's hypocrisy and religion and all that stuff. There's now a general societal hypocrisy. I don't know how to put it, though. A general societal like idea of right this is right, this is wrong. You know what I mean? So I feel like a lot of those things also kind of like play out. You know what I mean? But when you are here, you know, I feel like the only law that binds everyone here is the law. Yeah. Apart from that, and you can be whoever you want. You get my point? So I feel like who I am here is most likely who I really am. So just relating it back to God, like understanding who I really am, you know, when I'm angry, when I'm depressed, when I don't have friends, really lets me know the things I need to change about myself. You get my point? Because now I know, like, this whole thing I'm saying, I'm grumpy. You know, I feel like a lot of the reason why is because, like, now I understand more that, you know, when people don't treat me a certain way, I have a tendency to also feel offended and also want to react in a certain way. This is who I am naturally. Yeah. That's probably in Nigeria. Okay, this is what I want to change. Yes, like probably in Nigeria, maybe because I will never just get to that scenario, or if somebody doesn't greet you, somebody else would tell, why did you greet him now? Yes. And it's like, the devil made me. Yes, that's actually who I am. You get my point. So I feel like here it's just that realness is annoying, because then I also feel like I have to also face other people's realness, which is all these experiences I'm having, you know, when I get, you know, I meet people in their real form, you know, they see me for the first time. You've never seen a black person, so this is how you react. You know what I mean? That's true. That's what something other people say, that in as much as some Germans can be racist, at least they tell you. Yes, they can't hide who they truly are. This is true. And not just in Nigeria. I think people complain about that for, I think, Americans, I don't know. Yes, like, they do hide. They're racist, but then they're smiling at you. They're like, do you actually want to stand up from me and the boss, and you're just sitting here because you want to be politically correct? I think Germans actually hate Americans because of that. Yeah. And Germans, this is one thing that probably Germans have that a lot of people don't like, and which I would say at first I don't like, but I kind of understand the benefits. I understand the benefit. Like it's not very good, but like I said, like I've started to understand myself very much, because like I go out and, you know, I'm so grumpy. I'm like, you know, like
this is you.
This is you know what I mean? Like this is you know it was a very weird point where I was not trying to correct myself. I was not like, okay, maybe I should smile a bit more. You know what I mean? Okay, maybe I should change something about myself. I was even asking myself, like, is it even possible to even be good in this kind of environment? I mean, what does it take for you to be, you know,
a good person?
A good person, like it's like, how can I still be nice to people when you get my point? So I started asking myself the real questions.
Oh my God, that's
I started asking myself reasons. So it's like, if you really want to be a Christian, or you want to understand what Christianity, this is what it really is. It's not when it's rosy or when everyone is like being
or when
nice
everything
to
is
you.
bad.
Yeah.
So because it's also when everything is bad, because I think that's the situation in Nigeria. Nothing is working, so that solace is in like religion. So you just create a bubble for yourself. So you don't even know who you truly are. You don't know how things are. You're just in that environment. Yes. I feel like you actually need, before you can truly find religion, you actually need to know who you are.
Yes.
And then the religion layers on top of it. Else, everybody's just deceiving themselves.
Exactly.
Pastor Chidi.
No, this one, I definitely caught this one, like, it was, I think this one was even like a few days ago. It was actually a few days ago because I just noticed that I'm a horrible person. Like, I actually know, I was like, I'm totally a horrible person. Like, I'm not angry about it, I'm not judging myself for it. Like, I'm angry, like, because people treated me this way, or I'm angry because this is how, you know, this is how I get reacted to, so I feel like, okay, I have to act this way. But at the end of the day, it's like, you know, is this really a good thing you are doing, or are you just, you know, just reacting to what has happened? You know what I mean? So it's like, at the end of the day, it's like, I see what I do. I see my horribleness. You know, obviously, like, nobody's judging me for it, or but I can see it, and then I can now decide. You know, obviously, I'll be a foolish person to now say, or to deceive myself and be like, it's good, you know. I feel like, obviously, at least I'm glad at least I was able to catch myself to say, okay, maybe there's some things that are wrong in my approach to like some certain things, you know what I mean? But yeah, I mean that's what it was for me. Like I was kind of able to just observe myself and be like, yeah, like, this is not actually good. You know what I mean? Like this is not.
It's what it is, but it's not good, right? Nobody's judging you.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. Like, because you know, I feel another thing for me when I was younger, when they would say, "Oh, pray for forgiveness of your sins. We're all horrible people," and I'm not horrible. Like, 'cause I didn't know who exactly I was. I just thought I was this nice, peachy person, and I'm like, but I didn't do anything wrong. I'm not a sinner. Why should I come and say that I'm a sinner? God forgive. I didn't understand what it means. What exactly does it mean to be a bad person? A good person. But by default, like, the human nature is not exactly good, right?
Yeah.
By default, we want to like take things for ourselves. By default, we want to like be horrible, laugh at other people's misfortune.
Yes.
That's what it means. So when you don't know that that's actually who you are by nature, and they've been told that, okay, be a good person.
Exactly.
Nice.
So
okay, that went deep. Okay, so what about, how was Nigeria for you when you went back, when you left Hamburg?
Okay.
Finally freedom from this cold, dark, godless place.
Oh man, yeah. Okay, I think that was a good way to go through it. Anyways, like, okay. But anyways, yeah, Nigeria was cool. Nigeria was cool. I think, like I said, I really needed that at that point in time. You know, I just needed to leave. You know, so I did just that, really. You know, I just left. And it was nice. It was nice to be honest. Like, from the first day I got to Nigeria, I really just felt the difference. You know, like, the change. I was like, it's not. I mean, it's not that deep. You know what I mean? Like, I just felt like the pressure was not. Yeah, like, everything just left, to be honest. So I think that was definitely good. Yeah, and for me, like, I feel like it was really, like, I was stressed. I feel like I was definitely stressed. There was something, I was mentally not, you know, like, I was very stressed.
Not in the right
I was
place,
not in the right mental state. Like, I didn't know exactly what it was, but I definitely knew there was something off, so, you know. So I think when I just came, like, really, like, in Nigeria, I was sleeping quite a lot, you know, sleeping, and I was, at some point I was really like, yeah, this is exactly what I should be doing. Like, I need to just rest, So I think for like 3 months, really, I was really just resting, and it was fantastic. It was great. I mean, I traveled a bit.
Wait, you're sleeping for 3
Yes. Not sleep for the whole month,
Yeah, but like just
I was not
chilling.
doing anything.
You didn't travel, you didn't.
Well, I traveled around like Owerri, Abuja, but most days really I would just wake up, work on my computer.
Sounds amazing, actually.
And I was just spending
do
money.
nothing.
I was spending money, yeah.
That's why someone needs to be born rich.
that's just the only thing. Like if I had a bit more money, I would have spent more time on my sabbatical. But like, yeah, it was very expensive. But I enjoyed it. I think that was what I really wanted to do. Just like.
That's true.
I think I just needed also just this time to just not have, like I said, not to have too many responsibilities. I just feel like I just needed that break. And I think it was kind of therapeutic for me, just spending all that money and just wasting all that time as far as I'm concerned. It was just good to just release. Like I said, like it May.
I mean, clenched up for so long.
Like in May, like literally, like I was eager to have a job, and now I haven't taken vacation since I started working, and I can still work for the next 1 year now. Because for me now it's like I'm taking a break like for 3 months. My colleagues are taking holiday, and I'm like, guy, I'm chill, I'm good.
You're happy with that,
because
we're truly rested, right? Yeah.
I really took a break, and that was really what I wanted to do. At some point it was just a bit concerning, also because I wasn't making too much money. But the good thing was Code now engaged me for like a part-time contract, so that was what kind of saved me that period. So I was getting like a little bit of money from Code because I was working for like a few hours, but that was really just obviously kind of just there to like pad everything.
Exactly. Let's not be like you're just useless completely.
Exactly.
No money, no work.
Because I think I was working for Code like 20 hours a week or a month.
20 hours a month?
Yeah, so it was very little time.
Wow.
You know what I mean? It was interesting time, working, I was just working a few hours a day. I was, going out most of the time.
Who doesn't know this rich guy?
No, I'm sure those guys in my apartment, they probably did not know what I did. Because when I came, I installed like a solar panel, I installed satellites, so they were just seeing all these kind of new things. Just entering the house, because nobody had mounted the solar panel in the apartments before, and then the satellite as well, because I needed internet and
definitely.
So these are the things I invested in actually. Anyways, after like 5 months, so I was kind of just just looking for something, like a new opportunity. I think I had rested enough, and I just felt like I needed money. I needed to make money somehow. So either I was working in Nigeria somehow. Yeah. But the thing is, a lot of people are talking to when I'm talking like remote positions. I'm like, dude, I just came back. How can you be telling me about getting a remote job? That was another thing that really vexed me about Nigeria. Just the fact that everybody was just really discouraging me from moving back. You know what I mean? Like everyone just thought I was mad or like I had gone through something. And I don't know how to think about it. It was kind of it was annoying, I'll just say, because it was just like everywhere I go, apart from let's say like my friends who are like knowledgeable and all of that, but most people
because everyone like, are you crazy for coming back?
Just like, you're crazy for coming back, like why would you come back? So
did you give anybody any explanation as to why you went back?
I gave a few people explanation, but I quickly learned that I shouldn't be explaining to people these kind of things, because especially Nigerians. Like if I explain to them, like I think I explained to one friend. Yeah. By the time I was explaining to the second friend, like the amount of arguments we had.
On top of your matter.
On top of my matter, I just said after the day, I'm not even gonna like explain to anybody again, because he just tries to explain to you why it's such a bad decision
to come
and why are you feeling so entitled. There are no opportunities here. You have opportunities. You are living what you have. It's like, and this guy still throwing this thing against me. I said, it's not like I'm a bad person, that I'm proud, I'm this one, I'm that. I'm serious. This is my friend. It was like, now wow. I think it was the first friend I talked to was also the conversation was going to that direction, but he didn't really like stress on it that much. You know, he was already saying, he's like, are you sure everything was okay? It was even telling me that they deport me or something like that. Anything happened.
That's what happens to most people that come back now. Not most people, but like that's what people see out there. People that come back from abroad are people that they don't want
exactly.
Abroad.
So they're like, what happened? So a lot of people started giving me that. I was like, oh wow.
Were there any things that in Nigeria that were just like, oh, I can't, any challenges that happened or anything you saw that were like, oh, maybe this place has changed or you can't live in Lagos or in Nigeria anymore?
There were definitely things like that. They were definitely like, yeah, Lagos definitely frustrated me. Lagos frustrated me. Like the traffic, you know, just staring.
Because of the hair?
Because of the hair. So it's like, I would now face another problem. So even like walking around my house was also not, because like people just all of a sudden look at me. I don't know, they just look at me now and now feel like I'm from abroad, you know. So it was.
Yeah,
it was
so
now
weird because
a different.
Were you staying in your former area before you left? Or you moved to a new area?
I moved to a new area.
Okay.
I moved to a new area, but it was kind of around the same vicinity.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I started feeling a bit weird walking around because people just started looking at me like, oh, you know, like almost like I'm foreigner, you know. So that one was kind of vexing me small, you know. Then the traffic, then Uber drivers, man, bro, I parred for Uber. I think it was even in my first week in Nigeria that I already blasted one Uber guy. I couldn't even believe that I could talk like this. I was like so mad because these guys will call you, they will now be asking you where you are going.
Yeah.
Like, what is in the app? I was like, I put my location there. They'll not be like, where are you?
Where are you? Yeah, like, or they will say they're here already and they're not here.
I'm like, man, all of these things just frustrated me. I think it was mostly just the traffic.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like I was still able to, which was also a good thing, I was able to still create that kind of bubble around myself. I feel like in Lagos, I would have enjoyed Lagos if I was making money. If I was making
Lagos
money,
is made for
Lagos
people that have money.
If you don't have money in Lagos, you can't really.
I think that's the annoying part of Lagos or Nigeria in general. Of course, everywhere in the world, when you have money, you enjoy it. But like, when you don't have money in Lagos, you will suffer.
Yeah.
Like unlike here now, when you don't have money, you can still you can still go out. So you don't have to stay at home. True. At least train. If they catch you without money, there's nothing they can do. You can still enter the train. You can still survive. I heard there's a place like food banks and everything.
Yeah.
You will still be okay. So it's just like it feels criminal to be poor in Nigeria, which is so sad. And
I find that very annoying actually.
It is.
I think a lot of my life has become kind of simple now, you know. I like, as much as I talk about public transport in a negative light, I actually like the fact that I don't have to drive a car or park my car anywhere. Exactly. So that I mean, like, not having that in Nigeria was kind of annoying, you know, or even just being able to walk around, you know. When I'm walking around, people are just like
feeling security conscious.
Even when I even go on my own and I tell like my friend I walk from here to like, hey, you want them to kidnap you?
Yeah. Nobody sends where someone has gone around the world will come back and the same people. Yeah. Okay, so now that you've now come back, you left Nigeria and you're now back to Germany. So what has now changed from before?
Yes.
Like in you and in like your experiences and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I mean, first of all, what has changed first of all is how I came. Okay. You know, I feel like how I came is dramatically different. Obviously, like now I obviously have lived in Germany before, so I kind of know what to expect. You know, so for instance, like settling back in was so easy for me. First of all, even coming in, you know, I didn't have to need for visa. I just bought the ticket.
Actually, you have your PR already.
Yeah, I have my PR. So I just bought the ticket and just came. You know, and also
the privilege of not having to do visa.
Yes, exactly. And then I just got the hotel, you know, and it was fairly straightforward. So I think that was definitely one thing that's changed. Another thing that's changed was exactly how I came. Like my objectives for coming were kind of clearer. You know, because like I said,
I think that's very important, right? Like I think that's something that I wish I had also known. Like I feel like I knew, but I also was just, there was a lot of air in my head.
You can't really have a full.
But some people do, like people that know about it. Like when you tell someone all of these things, now when you're coming, you know, okay, this is why exactly I'm coming here. So you sometimes even when some of these funny experiences happen to you, don't notice because you're like, This is my goal.
This is true. This
Yeah.
is true. Which is what I would definitely agree with. I feel like now now that I'm back, there's definitely lots of experiences that I feel like don't really I don't really feel as much.
I'm not here for you.
It's not really and even though it's similar, but yeah, it definitely feels very different. Like I said, me being here, I now know that because I came here specifically because of the job, specifically because of where I was at that point in time. Okay, I kind of spent all my cash, and it's I need to renew back. I need to renew back. So there's this kind of this humility. So it's now my focus is kind of okay, I'm here for my job. This is what I'm focusing on. I mean, life. First of all, I don't even have that expectation of having a great life in Germany. It's not as if I don't want to have a great life, but to be honest, every great experience I have now, I just see it as a privilege. I'm just so excited. When you guys came, I was so excited. Because not so many people come to my place, or not so many people. Even I would say I would even say generally, people are not really visiting people as much. So I'm just more grateful about every the small things now. Without really being too already thinking too much. Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. I don't have all these expectations. It makes me not to overthink a lot. So when I'm alone. When I'm with people, it's not really why am I alone? Why don't I have too many friends? Because I know I feel a bit more in control of a lot of these things as well. So yeah, that has definitely changed. My focus. Basically, I know why I came. So for me, my priorities have changed. My priorities now, I'm thinking very clear. I know, even staying with this company, I know how long I want to stay with this company. I know why I'm staying with this company. I know, I have some certain goals for myself. Generally. Yeah. So I'm generally able to think clearer because also having now lived in Nigeria again, after
living
for
the
so
good
long,
and the shaggy.
Yeah, so now even I feel after living for so long, you tend to have a fuzzy idea about Nigeria.
Rose-colored, rose-tinted.
Yes, exactly. Where you feel
I was happy.
Exactly.
No, not every time.
So I think going back also let me see the reality of the whole thing I told you about people wanting remote jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the things I didn't really. So it's going back and now seeing everyone is even all the people that are making money, they have remote jobs. So for me, it's interesting.
Nobody's really grounded in one place.
Well, nobody's really working in Nigeria even, you know what I mean? So
that's
it's
true.
Yeah, it just made me, I don't know, it just makes you think about things clearly. You know, understand, okay, there's not as many jobs as I think in Nigeria. I mean, there's jobs, but not as many. And even a lot of the good people are not working in Nigeria.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
so half efforts in Nigeria, half efforts somewhere else.
So it's even if you want to live a good life in Nigeria, a lot of times a lot of people are advising you just get a remote job and work in Nigeria. So like I said, it made me think more about what I have, which is why now, I told you now, I'm looking more towards getting a remote job now, which can allow me basically travel
anywhere.
Exactly. So it's this is me thinking more clearly. Before it would have been, I want to move back to Nigeria, to work in Nigeria. But now it's no. I want to get a remote job that allows me to be in Nigeria. Because understand that even in Nigeria you need money. So
you can't just go and
you
chill.
You don't want to just So I think just that whole clarity and a bit more, a very no-nonsense attitude towards things in general. I think that's really what changed about. And a lot of these experiences, I still observe a lot of things, obviously, but now I'm just growing out of it because I feel I'm also in another phase now where I feel the first few years of journey was obviously observing a lot of things, but now I feel I'm at the stage where I need to define who I am, which is I feel a very different activity.
It is the mindset, the thinking, everything.
Yeah, because now I've seen myself, I told you before, I've seen how I react to certain things. I've seen who I am. you know, it's now me questioning like, okay, is this who I really want to be? You know what I mean? And then, so this is the way I'm now thinking about a lot of things. Like I'm experiencing in Germany is now not only me reacting to things, but me also like deciding like how I would like to, how I would like to be in like different like scenarios, and you know.
Just figuring yourself out.
Figuring out like basically who do I want to be?
Who do you want to be?
How do I want to react in certain situations? What happens if someone comes to me and calls me a nigga?
Yeah.
What do I actually do? You know, I mean, this is something like I'm now thinking about, like, okay, you know,
that makes sense. So it's like rebuilding yourself again.
Yes.
So that's where you are now. So are you happier in Germany as a person, just in life generally?
As a person, I guess I'm happier, kind of. I'm happier, kind of. Kind of. To be honest, I feel like in this journey, I don't know, like it's always just, happiness is overrated. I don't know. And it's like, I'm grateful for where I'm at right now. Yeah, I'm accepting a lot of things, just like, okay, this is my reality right now. So I wouldn't say I'm happy, like happy. That's the thing. I don't think like it's about happiness for me as much anymore. So yeah, I mean it's okay to be sad, but
that's a good point, right? Yeah,
it's just more about just figuring out kind of how how it works for you at the end of the day. So yeah, like I said, this is another good thing about like living in Nigeria, coming to Germany. Like for instance, like going back to Nigeria was when I actually like understood that I'm actually an introvert, and I actually like being an introvert. You know what I mean? Because like in Nigeria, the difference between Nigeria and here is like in Nigeria, there's so many people that want to interact with you. And I just figured I actually don't like that.
Yeah, it gets a lot.
It's like I actually don't like that. Like I was most of the time just hiding in my house or like just being on my own. So it's like, so what was I now complaining about?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And now I come to Germany, it's like.
But you want more people.
Now I want more interaction, kind of. But now that's the thing. Like me coming back now, I feel I was a bit more grateful for being alone, because like I'm like, if I go to
really
Nigeria,
it's
like
too much noise.
There's a lot of people that are going to want to talk to you, when you come. So why not enjoy this time you have alone? So I mean, it might be frustrating sometimes, but that's what I'm saying. It's just grateful. Like I'm just grateful. Like now, even if I don't party. Like now, if we go tonight, like tonight is just for me. It's like no, there is. If we just go tonight, for me, it's like this is like my party. I can say, okay, I'm partying for the quarter, and I'm good. You know what I mean? And before I would feel bad about that, but now I just feel like great. You know what I mean? So I think that's just the difference. I don't think I'm happier. I don't even think much has changed. To be honest, I feel like I'm still as depressed as I was. I'm just more accepting of it. just more.
I shouldn't be laughing at depression, but
yeah, no, but it's true. It's just like you don't, because like I said, like it's like self-discovery, right? And you just find a better way to look at it, like a better and better, And I think that's what I'm just doing right now. Just trying to just be like a better like person.
Version of yourself,
Yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
Oh,
thank you.
Yeah. Oh my God, this was so good. Thank you. And happy birthday. Yes.
Wait, how many